You're doing all the work. You're trying to manifest more money, the affirmations, the actions, the journaling, and yet it is not happening. What's going on? How do we fix it? And how do we get that money in your pocket ASAP? Hey everyone, it's Acacia Thornton, the CEO Legal Coach. For those of you that are returning, so great to see you all. I see you in the chat. It's nice to see you guys. For those of you that are new, what we do here is we go live 3 times a week and we answer your questions. So we're going to always hit on a topic, share some stories that are real life stories, and then you get to ask your questions in the chat, getting the answers you want, you need to be successful in your life. And today's topic is all about money manifesting. Well, there's a few different areas that we could have blocks happening in our money manifesting. It's important to kind of see different categories. And so we can't hit them all today, but we're going to hit some really top high level ones. Now, what is a block? When you're manifesting, you're trying to call in money. You want to see more of that in your reality, in your bank account, in the different ways that align to who you are, the life you're trying to build, that fulfilling, like value-filled life that you want to live. Money is part of that. So when we're trying to manifest that, bring more of that into our lives, things that can get in the way of that are called blocks. And why are they blocks? It's kind of like, imagine a road between, let's say you're trying to go from Los Angeles to New York, right? You want to have bank account, your current bank account is Los Angeles and you want New York bank account. And so you start the road heading there. And along the way, there's detours or there's a tree in the road. There's these things blocking you. And so what do these blocks do? Well, they take you off the path. They make it take longer. The worst is when a block is so big that no matter what other routes you end up taking, you end up seeing it. It's the same one, right? Let's say the entire Route 66 is closed and so are all the other highways and interstates across the country. Well, it doesn't matter which one you try to take, they're all going to be closed. So this is why it's important to find blocks, because when we remove the blocks, you not only get to go further and closer to that New York location and number that you want, you also can go faster. You can go the speed limit. You can go increase that speed, but you can go as fast as you want. But if you're worried about those blocks in the way, you have to go slow. Is it something going to jump out at you? And so on. So it also lowers your speed. So today we're looking at those 3 key blocks that I see a lot in clients. And the first one that we're going to jump at, I see this a lot with business owners. So if you're a business owner or you're thinking about being one, you probably have had this come up in your life, but it can happen to any of us. And that is the idea of trying to manifest both the outcome and the source. The outcome and the source. An example is, let's say you're a business owner and you want $10,000 in clients. Okay, $10,000 is the money you're after. That's the amount versus in clients. Now you're saying how you want it to come up, the source of that, right? $10,000 in clients. And so what I see people do is they're like, okay, well, I want $10,000 this way. Let's compare that to I want $10,000 and I don't care how it comes. I want $10,000. I'm manifesting $10,000. I've decided I'm going to have $10,000. I'm calling in $10,000. Doesn't matter how it comes. So how would you feel energetically inside? How would your mindset be? Your feelings, your actions, if you're like, I know $10,000 is coming and it doesn't matter where it comes from. Versus if you wanted, I want $10,000, it's got to come from clients. When we're saying it's got to come from the clients, what we're saying to the universe is, I'm only going to pay attention if you're going to give it to me the way I want. And if you've been a big manifestor or tried it a lot, you might have started to hear the idea of we care about the what. It's the universe's job about the how. The universe is responsible for the how. So when you're saying $10,000 via clients, you're telling the universe, you're micromanaging the stuff that made you, that made everything available and everything that it ever is and ever was. You're trying to micromanage that for your $10,000. So this is why manifesting both the source and the outcome, like what you're after, the outcome and this can create a bottleneck of your energy. It's also dividing your energy into 2 places. You're trying to think about the $10,000 and you're trying to think about clients. The more we can simplify and streamline that energy. So what I would say here is, if the number is what you're after, does it matter how it comes? If the number is what you're after, it doesn't matter how it comes, in which case, let go of how. Let go of how. Because I have seen this happen. This actually happened to my parents. They were trying to manifest some more money. They own their own business. They generally work from home, but sometimes they're out of the house. And of course, us kids were out of the house. We were in school at the time. And somebody comes up and knocks on their door and is like, from one of the local movie studios. My parents were in the industry, and they're like, we want to shoot a pilot at your house next week. Can we do that? The catch is we need you out of the house Monday through Thursday, same time the kids are out of school. My parents were like, we were already going to be on set or on site somewhere else. It's no imposition to us. And they're like, yeah, we will give you I remember it was $5,000 or $10,000 for us to do that week, right? Money literally knocked on their door. But if my parents were so busy focusing on trying to get out and get more clients or do something else, they could have been missing that, or they maybe never would have returned the studio's calls and followed through on that. Money literally showed up on their doorstep without them having to do anything. But if they were so focused on doing something else, they never would have returned that call. They never would have opened the door and answered the doorbell when it rang, and that type of a thing. So this is what it is to understand that we want to be open. The universe knows what's going on out there. The universe knows what's in motion, not us, not us. Kind of like the 5 degrees of separation thing. We know what we're up to, and we can kind of get a sense of the people in our immediate area, right? Like maybe what your current clients are up to, your current suppliers, but we don't know what their people are up to or what those people are up to. And that's what the universe does. The universe can start collapsing and bringing things to you. So when you're trying to manifest both the source and the what, like how it's going to come to you, you actually prevent that magic from happening. You reject it subconsciously, which is why it's a block. So we want to undo that. So if you want the number, focus on the number, really feel into that number, feel in that number in your bank account, feel what you're going to do with that number, feel the joy and excitement you're going to have when you see it hit your inbox or however it is you receive it, and feel that, let go of the how. If it's clients you're after, let go of the number. Let go of the number. Instead, be like, this is what I want my client world to feel like. This is what I want this level of clients to feel like, be like. I want my workday to be like this. And we start to bring that about. And the next thing you know is you have clients that are fitting into those energetic patterns who happen to be the ones that pay more, that pay $10,000 and so on. So the number or the how, let one of them go and focus on just one. So that is one of the biggest money manifesting blocks I see. Like I said, that one's with entrepreneurs, but let's say you're just a person. You're like, okay, it needs to come through my job. It needs to come through my husband. It needs to come through this event this weekend. It needs to be. That overthinking, that stress are all blockers, all blocks. So just sit back and think. And I can tell you, when I had both my $10,000 day and my $20,000 day, I just focused on the number. Had no idea where it was going to come from. Both of them happened in under 48 hours. So it can happen. It can happen. Keep going with it, right? But let go of the how if you want the number. And if you care about the not the number, but the how, focus and feeling into that. Okay? Yeah. Hey, Sharonda. Yes. Hey. Is it Soden Dorku? I love that. Okay. It's so nice to have you guys here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, this is one of those things where we do definitely not realize that we're doing it to ourselves, right? When we're doing it to ourselves. For those of you who don't know, I have a free manifesting guide on my website, ceolegalcoach.com. And in it, there's an exercise that actually helps undo that. So if you're having that as one of your regular blocks, it's called the 20 ways exercise. It's in there. It's absolutely free. Just your name and your email. And you can grab that. That's in that guide. So yeah, it's really, I don't have the address off the top of my head. But it's at my website, CEO Legal Coach, under the manifesting stuff. Okay. Next set. That was one. What is the next area where I see a lot of money blocks? Money as a need. Oh, look who just appeared. Apparently my dog was under the blankets. So money as a need. We all have a calling to live a big, fulfilling, joyful, thriving life. Abundance, abundance, abundance. And money is one of the biggest, if not the easiest, catalysts to all of that things. How are you supposed to pay for the experiences, pay for the house, pay for the food, pay for the gifts, pay for the love, right? It's not the only way to express those things, but it is one of the easiest and best ways to do so. So when we understand that there's a need to money, but we think of need as in desperation, as if I'm starving, as if I'm dehydrated, as if I don't have the air to breathe, it becomes suffocating. It becomes depleting the way that things are in your life. And guess what? That's a block. So, what we want to do is not necessarily think about and feel about money as a need, but to think and feel about it as abundance. I'm sure this morning when you woke up, you didn't ask, is there enough air for me to breathe? And majority of places where you're probably getting this, well, it's not true in all of the world yet, you didn't wonder if there was going to be access to water. And you didn't worry about if there's going to be access to food. Okay, majority of the world does not face that. And so if you're not worried about those needs that way, right? You still have to go to the grocery store, so you have the money to buy the food, but it's different, right? Money is no different. It is just energy, the way the air is. So it's our mindset and our feeling about it as that need that we create the feeling of desperation. We create that feeling of desperation. So to understand that that is a feeling we've chosen to carry, and it's a block. When we contract our energy into a low vibe frequency, science actually shows that we attract things that are of a lower nature. We literally block ourselves. You block your mind and your body from seeing opportunities. You block them entirely. And then 3, because we're not acting in the moment, we cannot have serendipity, coincidences, and any of those fun, magical feelings. We literally backtrack ourselves from any of it. So we want to let those things go. So that's one of the second areas, is that idea of energetic blocks, of bottlenecking your own mindset about the value and presence of energy in your life. Because money is just energy. It is just energy. It is a value exchange that we give that happens to be printed sometimes on paper. But now, thanks to electronic stuff, it's not even always on physical paper. Money isn't even physical anymore. It's just numbers across, a database. It's that simple. It only has the meaning and the value you assign and contribute to it. Okay. So if you're feeling that about your business, if you're feeling that about your job, if you're feeling that about the money in your bank account, know that that is a block. That is a block that literally prevents the money and the opportunities for money from coming to you. And if they are in front of you, you wouldn't see them. I had this happen with, it was somebody who worked in my co-working space. He's a marketing director. I was talking to him about some stuff. He had asked my advice on a new business line he was creating. And I was starting to talk to him about an event I was holding. I was like, maybe you could create some of the materials for me. And he was so excited to show me everything he's ever created, everything that he didn't actually realize. I was trying to create something with him. I was trying to co-create with him. He wanted to show me everything from his perspective instead of connecting with me. And ultimately, he never got me as a client because I felt I couldn't connect with him. I felt we couldn't co-create. I felt we couldn't do the outcome I was going for. And when you're doing that, or when we're doing that with money, we're saying it's got to be this way. It's got to be this structure. This is what it means. I need clients, but it has to be. We literally prevent the universe from co-creating with us. We prevent ourselves from seeing that the new client is right in front of you. It's literally right in front of you. This person wants to do business with you, but they can't because you're busy focusing on this instead of being at peace in the moment, connecting with the universe and all the opportunities it's giving you. So that's the second big misstep that I see. I see some of the questions coming in. Yes. Can I manifest money through multiple channels at once? You can. The question is, who is in control of that, you or the universe? If you're trying to do it this way and this way and this way, you're dividing your energy. You're sending mixed signals to the universe. You're saying, I want clients and I want online and I want this. All that is absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. But you're not being creative. You're not co-creating with the universe. You're not letting it give you the signals that, trusting the gut feeling, or feeling like I had this spark of genius, I had this great idea. I just thought I'd try this. I had a client with that once. She's like, I don't know, something just says to go try these ads. And I'm like, okay. So she went and did it. And by the end of the month, she had tripled her revenue. She had been in business for over 10 years. She knew how to get clients, but she had this spark of genius because she was open and aligned. We had to do some unblocking, removing of those blocks for her to get her into that alignment. So when you want to manifest from different channels, can it be done? Absolutely. Absolutely, it can be done. Anything is possible. Anything. The question is, are you trying to control it? Kind of back to what we said in the first thing, right? You want $10,000 and in clients, well, which message do you want to send to the universe? If you want the client to focus on feel how that's going to feel. If you want the number, let it come from anywhere. Just feel into the number. So that's what I would do is why do you want it from all these channels? Why is there some bigger, higher level number or a bigger, higher purpose, bigger, higher calling? Feel into that and then let it fall where it's going to fall based on your co-creation with ideas and the universe helping you get that. That's what I would recommend. Yeah. What if I don't care how it comes? I just want it. Yes. Cool. Then just feel into not wanting it. Because wanting means I don't have it yet. That's actually a form of lack. The wanting mindset is a form of lack. It's a lack mindset. What you want to do is have it is mine. I have the $10,000. I have the $20,000. I'm having the $100,000 a month. I have this. This is mine. This is happening right here, right now, because I've decided. I don't want it. I've decided it's happening. I love to tell the story that I wanted to go to Antarctica forever. Not forever, but like 7 years or something like that. And then I was slowly trying to save up and things would take the money a little bit. But, little bits and pieces were getting to my account. But then one day my mom just comes along and was like, it's time to go to Antarctica. And I was like, no, Mom, like I don't have the money. You got to wait for these things. And she's like, no, we're going. And I was like, it's expensive, isn't it? She's like, no, we're going. Why? Why was her mindset different than mine? She had decided we're going. She didn't care what was involved. She had decided she was going to figure it out. Me, I'm like, I haven't figured it out yet, so I can't decide. The moment I decided I too was going to go to Antarctica with my mother, we booked the appointment with the travel agent. We put the deposit down on the date. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. And so that's the difference between wanting and deciding. Wanting is still saying it's going to come someday. There's some abstract whatevers. There's a distance, time between me and it. There's a task I have to do between me and it. There's something that has to change between me and it. No. That means you're never going to have it because there's always going to be something between you and it. So we don't want to want. We want to decide. We want to own. We want to know with full faith and belief, it's mine. It's happening now. So make sure that we're switching into that mindset, okay? Switching into that mindset that if you don't care how it comes, cool, but the wanting versus the deciding, very, very big. Okay, so that actually is a great transition to our third point about blocks in money manifesting. The third main block in money manifesting is trying to overplan, overstructure, overcontrol. Planning and structure. So knowing the direction you're going, good. Because you can't get from LA to New York if you don't know that you actually want to go to New York. And you can't get from LA to New York until you decide, I'm going to leave LA and go to New York. But now let's talk about the route between LA and New York. When we are so set on a path, let's say that you're like, okay, I've decided to take Route 66. That's where I'm going. I actually don't know if Route 66 goes all the way to New York. I think it does. But let's say we're taking that route. You've decided this is it. Well, what if a bridge goes down? What if just something happens to one of the roads or whatever, and that's not viable? If you have decided this is the only route I'm going to take, this is the one, you're going to sit there on the side of the road for a long time. You're going to sit there on the side of the road for a long time. Whereas there's other routes available to you, right? Nowadays, you'd be like, oh, I'll just let my GPS take me a different direction. We'll reroute. I might go out of my way, might be delayed a little bit, but there's other ways to get to New York. When we are trying to control the plan, hey, I want the money. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to set it up. These are the steps I'm going to take. That's exactly what you're saying. You're saying, I'm going to force this way, which goes back to the things we've been talking about. I'm going to reject the universe co-creating with me. I'm going to reject the universe's coincidences. I'm going to reject the universe's, hints, ideas, brilliance. I don't want that. This is it. This is the only way. Kind of creates like a tunnel vision. So when we are over controlling or over planning or stressing about the control or stressing about the plan, we actually are doing all the other blocks as well. It's all at the same time. So what do you want to do? First, I like to sit there and have an idea of, okay, I want to maybe see the, this national park along the way, or this monument, stop at this museum, world's biggest yarn ball or something, along the way. These things seem fun and interesting. And then be open to the idea that, oh my gosh, the world's largest dinosaur is here too. That sounds amazing. Let me go that way. And start to feel into it. So I'll make my plan and I will make it generally, not doing every little deal, but general plan. And then I ask myself, does this plan feel right? I put myself into the person who has the money, whatever it is I'm manifesting. Does this plan feel right for that? Usually 8 out of 10 times, I'll find something that's like, no, you know what? This part feels a little off. Or I don't want to do that stuff. That stuff feels constricting to me. That stuff feels boring. It doesn't feel fun. You know what? It feels like it's missing something. What is it missing? And then I add that. And now I have a plan that I am inspired by. I am inspired to take this plan because I've taken that moment to ask, how does it feel? Not how does it think? Not how perfect is it? Because here's the thing. As you take that plan, things are going to shift. All right. That's the nature of laws and the universe and life and the human experience. So as I'm going about this, I will then start to do that, but then I'll also start to be like, that's so weird. Originally I thought I was going to make the website pink, but today I feel like making it blue. I wonder what blue would do for it. Feel into that. It's like, yeah, blue feels right. And so I don't know why blue over pink, but there was something about that felt right for what I'm trying to call in. And the next thing you know, you've had a more creative journey. And you might have somebody who was Googling, I need brand new blue websites, and then yours comes up. We don't always know why the universe has us do what we do. This happened with me in one of mine. I was looking to manifest more speaking opportunities. And so my little plan was, okay, we're going to update the website. I'm going to move my speaker reel from a self-done one to a professionally done one. So I have a great video editing and all of these things. And I go to start doing this and I got some resistance. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why? And it was like, this is the plan. This is how you get more. And so what ended up happening is it got to the point where I was like, I'm feeling resistance. Let me just stop, manifest for a second, let me meditate, ask the universe, put myself into the person who already has what I'm calling in. What is it that you want me to do? And he goes, I want you to stop focusing on your talks and start focusing on your training. And I'm like, but we're manifesting more speaking gigs. That's the talks. And it's like, no, go work on your training. And I was like, okay. So I went and did things that felt inspired about the training that I felt called to do with this for a few days. And I had a regular meeting with one of my business partners that I work with a lot. And we're just talking, catching up. And we usually talk about the trainings and something. But then I was just so inspired that I just felt inspired to say these words and tell her this story. And I just, and she just stops me and she goes, have you ever thought about being an inspirational speaker? And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm manifesting. And she's like, I think you'd be great at it. I know 2 people who are looking right now. What? She's not my speaking person. She's not my seminars and talks person. She's something else in my life. But the universe knew that if I had focused on my speaking reel and these other things, I never would have told that story. And I never would have told that story that way with that excitement and energy because I wouldn't have had the days leading up to it the way they ended up being because I focused on training instead of talks. That is what it is to co-create with the universe and allow ourselves to shift into a different space by allowing the plan to shift. Okay, that's what is really important about this third key of blocks in money manifesting is how much are you controlling the plan? the how, or the overthinking, the over worrying. Waddles, the original author of The Science of Getting Rich, he says to do things in the certain way. Take action right now in the certain way. And the more I read that book, which by the way changed my life, the more I read that book, the more I realized that the certain way isn't necessarily like I'm doing certain things, but the certain way meant I'm taking action with certainty that what is happening, that I'm calling in, is happening. That what I'm calling in is happening. That what's happening right now is attracting what I'm calling in. Do that with certainty, even if the act seems out of place. Like maybe you're at a job you don't love. You know it's not the job that's going to make you millions, but it's in the job you've got right now, that you have right now, that pays your bills right now. You can still do that job. Show up for that job knowing with certainty you're going to be that millionaire. You can do that. It's just changing how we're doing it by letting go of the intention and intensity of the overthinking and the forcing of a plan or a route or a path. So that is the third really, really key important money manifesting block removal is, are you overthinking it? Are you overplanning it? And as business owners, especially, we're told you have to have a business plan. You have to have this funnel. You have to, no, you don't. The people who are telling you have to do that are the people who either are selling it because it gets them money through affiliate sales, or it's because that's how they succeeded. Your success can learn from that, maybe has a similar structure to that, but it's going to be uniquely yours. And if we force our way to be just like their way was, well, it will never be exactly yours. It will never be uniquely yours. It can never fully express you and who you were when you made it and the journey you're on. So that's really important. Hey, Mark. Love to have you here. Yes. Okay, what do we got for questions? I keep manifesting small amounts, but never the big amounts. What do I do? Okay. There is something about you that is very comfortable in calling in money. There's something that's very comfortable about you calling in those numbers. What about the bigger numbers is scary, intimidating, feels weird, triggers something else? The higher the numbers, sometimes what we see, this isn't true for everyone, but it might be true for you because I know it was for me. The idea of $1 million for me growing up was like that big number, right? A kid from the 80s going through the 90s, $1 million was a lot of money. Nowadays, $1 million is like almost the standard. And so this idea of $1 million, I really had to come off the idea of like $1 million isn't that big of a deal. It's not, but to me growing up, it really, really was. So as my numbers got bigger and closer to that, it really became like, oh my God, this is scary. This is intimidating. Like, am I ready for this? It's just a number. $1 million today is almost like what? I don't know, $100,000 was then. So not quite, but you right. It's about perspective. So the value of $1 million today versus the value of $1 million then was different. It's just an energetic exchange, just a number. But to me, those bigger numbers were like, oh my gosh, or can I make more money than my parents? Is it okay to make more money than my old salary? I'm just a business owner right now. I'm not, that senior legal counsel at a Fortune 500 anymore. Those people deserve more money than I do. What? No. What about it was I putting the money, into a different perspective? So I would maybe journal or do some meditation on why is it that these numbers seem to be off put. What about them mentally? Are you afraid to receive bigger numbers? Afraid? I have seen some people say that they're afraid of the bigger numbers because they don't know what they'll do with it. They feel they're going to ruin it or mess it up or not invest it right because they don't know investing. Who says you have to know investing? Who says there's any right way? It's your money, right? You want to go buy a Rolls Royce with it? Go buy a Rolls Royce with it. If that's what makes you happy. If you want to donate it to charity, donate it to charity. If you just want it to be in your bank account, that's okay too. It's yours. You've called it in. The universe has said this is in alignment to who you are, what you're meant to call in. It's yours. So you get to do what you want with it. So don't let anybody else's ideas or what you've been told, right? Growing up, we're like, you have to invest, you have to save. Says who? Or maybe you want to invest, but you want to invest in, there's people who invest in real estate, there's people who invest in art. There's people who invest in companies. There's so many different ways to invest that it doesn't have to be the boring way. Do something that excites you. So I would, like I said, journal, meditate, ask yourself those questions. It's kind of, what is it about those numbers? And ask yourself, is this really true? Is it true that $1 million is a lot of money? Maybe not so much. Is it true that I don't know how to invest? No, I just that I wouldn't invest in the boring stuff. I want to invest in something fun. All right. Is it true that I have to know how? No, there's experts out there. Hire an expert, right? If you think of all these people who are multi-billionaires, do you think they're the ones doing all the investing and all the legal work and all the marketing? No, they hire people, right? So there's so much more opportunity to you. Find out where those fears are, where those doubts or uncertainties are. Get them out of your way, because you clearly already are aligned to calling in money, especially if you're doing it in smaller amounts. You just need to make those checks bigger. You got this. You got this. Okay, I think I saw one more question in there, right? How do I know if I have blocks if they're subconscious? That's a great question. How do I know if I have blocks if they're subconscious? Simply put, are you getting the results you want? Are you getting the results you want? Is every day of your life feeling joyful, gratitude, and abundant? Okay. Now, that doesn't mean bad things don't happen. Doesn't mean the scary things don't happen. Life is a journey. But even the bad things will be for your good. They will be leading you towards the person you're meant to become. They will be leading you towards your manifestations, even if it's not evident at first. I've had a few of those where I'm just like, what the hell is going on? What is this? And I've like almost yelled at the universe, why are you putting me through this? And then I can ask it and it will tell me, I'm putting you through this because this, and this are going to be part of your journey. Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't have picked that. That's not what I wanted. Those aren't the people I wanted to say goodbye to. It's not the timing I wanted for those things. That's not the event I wanted to have to get, a therapist for. But I understand the person is making me become. Okay. So how do you know if the blocker subconscious is that, do you have full faith and belief? Full faith and belief right here, right now, with gratitude, even when shit happens. Even when shit happens, even when it seems like it's not going to happen. Keep going with that full faith and gratitude, okay? And if you don't, that means you got blocks in the way. You've got blocks in the way, find them, right? Blocks always come in either thought form, and that could be subconscious or conscious. They can come in your feelings, okay? Feelings could mean your emotions. It could also mean the feeling sensations in your body, right? If you're like, oh, every time I think about this, my throat tenses up. Well, that's a feeling sensation that you're getting, right? That feeling there is a type of block. It's giving you a signal, a message. You want to hear it, listen to it, and either remove it or respond to it in a way that is loving, joyful, and abundant. So that's how you know. If you're not getting the results or you're having these types of things, then the third one is actions. If you don't know what action or feel inspired by the actions you're taking in your life, or you're procrastinating or you feel scared, like depression is a sign as well. It's not just physical, right? Those physical feelings and emotional feelings, but it also isn't the taking the action. There's not that connection point. If you're not feeling that, these are all signs that something is blocking you. Okay. And you want to just ask, get into your heart, get into your soul space, your center, and just ask, how do I bring this with love? How do I see this with gratitude? How do I release this so that it may be free and I might be open to receive in its place? Okay. So that was a great question. And did I see one more coming while I, what if I'm getting clients, but they're not paying on time? Oh, okay. What if I'm getting clients, but they're not paying on time? What about you is calling in and attracting the clients? You seem to be good at that because you got them. But why are these the client types you're getting? Why are these the client types you're getting? I have somebody in my office, and she was like just talking about, like, I always meet these guys, the guys that have these problems and this and that. She's like, it just seems like that's happening every day. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, those types of people do exist. You're right. But they're not the only type of people out there. There are plenty of other men, plenty of other women, plenty of other that aren't that. Why is this what seems to be in your life? Why is this what you're seeing? Why is this what you're attracting? Because there are other clients for you. There are other clients. There are other clients out there that pay on time. Sure are. Every one of my clients has always paid on time. That just seems to be something that I have, my alignment with. I would expect that. I'm going to show up, do my part. I expect them to do that. And it's just part of my energetic vibe. So something about me would feel misaligned to a client that wasn't going to pay on time. So that I probably never would be accepted as a client. Something about that, my energetic space would sense it. and be like, this is not the right client for me. So I rarely reject clients, but every now and then I do. I was like, this just isn't the right time or place for this client. And I don't know why, right? I just know that this is a right space. So what about you is saying yes to that? What about you is calling that in? And what can we do to remove and shift the belief to the fact that there are clients who always pay on time? What does that feel like? How is that a different vibe than the one you're vibing with right now? And trusting and believing and knowing that if you feel a client isn't going to pay on time, don't say yes to it. Don't say yes to the things that aren't aligned into the life you're calling it. Don't say yes to that. Say yes only to the things. Hey, Danny. Say yes to what feels right. Say no to what doesn't. And trust that for every no you say to a client that doesn't feel right, you are leaving the door open for one that says yes to who you are and what you're calling it. Because if you can only take 5 clients at a time, and 4 of those spaces are taken by clients who don't pay on time, well, you can only have space for 1 client that's going to pay on time. Where it is better to have 2 clients who are going to pay on time and leave open the other spaces for the ones that are, right? Trust that they're coming. Don't panic and try to fill spaces just because. All right, next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, right here, we are going to get more depth of the manifesting because this is a really big thing right now. What is alignment? How do you know you're in it? What does that look like practically? This is one of the things I had a challenge with manifesting is people always told me these abstract concepts and ideas. Well, I need to know what I have to do now. I need to know what I can do and what actions I need to take, what I can do practically to make those energetic shifts, because it's being like, shift your energy. It's like, what? It's an abstract idea. So we're going to get a little bit more into the depths and the specifics so you can attract the money, the people, the business that you are calling in, because you, my love, are worth it. You were designed to thrive, and we're going to make sure you get there. See you all next week. And don't forget to download that manifesting guide at ceolegalcoach.com.